All right, so today we're going to dive into a story. It's kind of like we're stepping into a time machine, you know? Back to the days of Ryan Leslie, Cassie, and Diddy. Remember them?
Oh, yeah. How could you forget?
Right. Big names, big drama. And you sent over some articles about them, and let me tell you, it's a whole journey. Music, love, heartbreak, the whole shebang.
Yeah, and you know what's really interesting about this whole thing? It goes way beyond just your typical love triangle, you know? Like when you really get into these articles, you start to see how it touches on like the power dynamics of the music industry and how relationships, even ones from way back, can still have an effect on things. And then there's even like a hint of a career comeback woven in there somewhere.
It's juicy. It's a lot to unpack. So let's back it up a bit for anyone who might not remember all the specifics. Ryan Leslie and Cassie, they were a thing. A serious thing.
Definitely not just a quick fling.
No, not at all. We're talking Leslie going full-on Romeo, publicly declaring his love for her, raving about her music, even saying he loved her family. That's a big deal. Back then, you didn't see that kind of openness, especially in the public eye, very often.
Yeah, it seems like he was really smitten with her. And from what we can gather from these articles, this wasn't some kind of PR stunt for Leslie. He's been pretty open about how deeply he felt about Cassie. Makes you wonder about what happened next.
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Because this is where Diddy enters the scene. Sean Diddy Combs, the man in charge at Bad Boy Records. Cassie signs to his label, and what do you know? Almost immediately after that, her and Leslie break up. Then, boom, she's with Diddy.
Yeah, the timing on that is definitely raises some eyebrows, to say the least.
For sure. And, you know, in a few older interviews, Leslie even hinted at it, talking about certain figures influencing the breakup. He never actually names Diddy, but common, read between the lines.
Well, yeah, the implication was definitely there.
Total drama, right. But it's not just about them. The fans, they were invested. Like, do you remember how every other comment online was all, Cassie and Ryan belong together?
I do. It was like a whole movement.
It really was. It was more than just gossip. It became this whole thing about wanting them to be a couple. It makes you wonder, why do you think that specific relationship resonated with people so much, you know?
You know, I think it's kind of telling, actually. I think maybe people were really drawn to what they thought was like genuine, you know, like a real connection in a world that's often all about appearances and hype. Maybe it was the way Leslie was championing Cassie's music, like he saw her potential even beyond all the industry stuff.
Yeah.
Or maybe people just love seeing those little glimpses into their lives, you know, like that genuine affection that they had. It's probably something that resonated with audiences, especially those looking for something real.
Especially back then. Social media wasn't what it is now.
Right, exactly. So when you saw something that seemed genuine, it stood out.
It makes you think. Anyway, like we know, fast forward a few years, and Diddy and Cassie, well, that whole thing kind of blew up, right? They split. And there were abuse allegations from Cassie's side, eventually leading to a settlement late last year. And now, people are saying Ryan Leslie's getting the last laugh. What do you make of that?
You know, I'm not so sure it's about anyone getting the last laugh in a situation like this. I think it's more about how things change over time, you know? And, you know, one thing that really struck me when I was reading these articles was how respectfully Leslie has always talked about Cassie, even when things were messy between them. He even mentioned she's working on a tour. So who knows? Maybe there's a musical comeback on the horizon.
That would be wild. Talk about a plot twist. Love, heartbreak, the music biz, maybe even a comeback. The story has it all. It really makes you think about how these relationships, especially when they're in the public eye, can totally shape careers and how people see these artists. It'll be really interesting to see if Cassie's music can reach a whole new level with this potential comeback.
It will. It's amazing how these things can come full circle, you know?
They really do. And who knows, maybe one day we'll get the whole unfiltered truth about that breakup. Until then, I guess we'll just have to keep speculating.
That's half the fun, isn't it?
It really is. All right. That's it for today's deep dive. See you next time.
See ya.